Okay, this is probably my fourth time attempting to film this video. So for today's video, we have a vlog on the Call of Duty channel. I think this will also go on the vlogging channel too, I'm not entirely certain. But for today's video, we're gonna be talking about my brand new PC build. This one's very special. It is by far the most powerful computer I've personally ever built. We've got the whole 9 yards, a 4090 and 9800X 3D. I can't wait to show you guys. Let's take a look at it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is my new PC build. I don't have it up on the table, unfortunately, because, well, it's very heavy. I did multiple iterations of recording me building this thing, and none of that footage turned out good whatsoever. So we have it down here. It is on a block of wood, do not worry. This is the Lian Li 011 Evo XL, and I'm probably still missing a word, case. This thing is extremely modular. You can actually take out the back panel where the motherboard sits. You see those silver screws up there? You can actually take that panel out and attach the motherboard to it and then just put the panel right back in. And putting the motherboard in here seamless, no issues. This thing has a 4090 Gaming X Slim GPU with a 9800X 3D, and I will actually put the rest of the parts on screen. We've got some T-Force RAM. We've got a bunch of Lian Li LCD fans. We have the, what is this? The R, I think, is the letter at the end for the AIO on top. But again, I'll put the parts list on screen so you guys can just get a glimpse at what all is in here. This case is so modular. You can actually reverse build the entire thing, put the ports over here on the opposite side or on top. You can basically rebuild the entire thing upside down. One of my favorite cases I've ever worked with, I've got my old NZXT. Are you supposed to call them Next? I just call them NZXT. I've got my old NZXT case over here. And then my other Lian Li case over here for my editing / work computer. I actually don't fully remember what the name of this one was, and we're gonna make some changes to this later. This is my baby right here. This thing is very good, very powerful, and I've had zero issues literally running basically any game that I've played on it so far. The 9800X 3D is also the latest AMD CPU too, with some notably higher, benchmarks. Now I'm gonna use terminology I'm not very good with, so bear with me if I sound like a moron, but I see some of the differences between the benchmarks of the 9800X 3D and the 7800X 3D, and it was only like $40 more, so I just said screw it and got that instead. This took me a total of, I wanna say 6 hours to build, and I'll put some of the B-roll footage of me actually building the entire thing. Each of the fans are currently connected to a controller in the back of the case, which is actually magnetically locked on here. And ignore the cable management. I have not finished redoing it. Do not worry, it will not stay like this forever. I know it looks terrible, but just bear with me, okay? But the entire back panel can actually pop off, and I think I'll get down here and show you what it looks like in the back, actually. Okay, we're gonna just slide this out here ever so easily. There we go. So this entire back paneling can just pop right off. And what I like about this too is the dust filters are actually magnetic. I don't know if this is like an industry standard thing nowadays with most cases, but these dust filters being magnetic made popping them on and off pretty easy. If they fell off, it wasn't a hassle to put them back on. The same type of dust filters on the top too, where the AIO is covered up here. This is what the back of the PC looks like. Now, the cable management isn't the best back here. We've got our Lian Li Uni fans, or the TL LCD version. These are reverse bladed fans, so you only get to see the ugly side, in the back paneling of the computer. The good side stays in the front, the ugly side stays in the back. That's what I like about reverse blade fans. You don't have to look at this part of the fan on the inside of the case. This is magnetic. The entire thing is super modular, like I said. Everything pops out, everything flips around. You can put some, SSDs here or whatever you want. There are a couple of hard drive cases or whatever kind of cases or storage devices you want to put in here. There were 2 of these. I actually removed one. You can remove it just so I could have a little bit more space for the cables and stuff. But yeah, these are actually connected directly to the motherboard via the SATA cables that are connected to the cages actually. Like I said, there's a lot of options that you get here. You can actually pop these out too, and it's pretty easy. I don't know if this is really anything a lot of you are interested in, knowing about, but yeah, the cages pop out nice and easy. They're easy to screw in. There's just so many different choices you can make with this case. I'm honestly really a big fan of it. But for the fans, We have this big old controller right here. I want to reorganize all of this at one point or another to make it look nice and neat. I am just not good with cable management, unfortunately, and it's never been my forte. And yeah, but this is basically everything back here. The PSU, by the way, is the Seasonic Vertex 1200 GX. I probably said that out of order. What's cool about this PSU is it has a hybrid mode, so if there isn't enough, how does it go? If there isn't enough equipment running, or if whatever I'm doing on this computer isn't, you know, intensive enough, the fan will actually just shut off, but still this thing will still provide power to the computer if whatever we're doing isn't that intensive anyway. Not really a mode that I'm like too crazy about. I actually have it turned off right now, but I did think that was pretty unique. I just love how you're able to just kind of hide all this stuff right here and still make it look sorta neat. I still want to rearrange like all the cables and stuff, but that's, you know, a task for another day. Let's just tuck that back in here. And that's one of the main reasons why I like having it on this block of wood. It just feels like it's a component for my entire desk setup. I can just pull in and out. But yeah, this is the new master setup, I guess we could call it. It's beautiful, man. I have all the LCD fans displaying some kind of information related to the computer overall, whether it's my GPU temperature, my CPU temperature, or even just the time here and there, some clock speeds. And since these are Lian Li fans, all of these are daisy chained to one another, meaning you don't have to have multiple cables plugged in. I've got 3 fans connected at the bottom that are all connected to just literally one cable at the end over here. Same with the fans on the side and stuff. I love these fans. I'm a big fan of Lian Li. They've made me a long-time customer. I'm a big fan of these guys. So in the long term, this will be my permanent gaming PC, my go-to machine for all of my gaming needs. I have my very first PC build, technically, my 6060 Ti with my Ryzen 5 3600 as my streaming/recording computer, because it doesn't really take too much to do any of that. I don't need a really high-end machine just to do that. I have my old 4070 computer with the 5800X 3D in it, being my work computer, my recording, well, not recording, but my editing machine, where I do all of my content creation outside of streaming. It's a great computer. I've never had any issues with it personally, but I did want something with a little bit more oomph to it. Now, obviously, 4090s aren't cheap, and the overall price of this computer that I built, it's up there. It's a long-term investment. Now, there were a couple of issues during the build that I embarrassingly don't want to talk about, but I did end up breaking some of the pins on the motherboard where the CPU goes on the AM5 socket, purely because I was just messing around with some stuff and just making sure everything was aligned. And I ended up seeing a pin that was bent, didn't know anything about bent pins, never bent a pin before in my life. And I went to just gently graze it to see if I could like fix it. I didn't know really what happened. And then I bent like 6 more. So I was able to go and get it completely exchanged from the computer store where I got all my parts and stuff from. No hassle. But the rep did drop the replacement motherboard that he got me. So he just looked at me and said, "Do you want another one?" This is our technically our 3rd motherboard for this computer in a way, but we got it. It's all good, no worries. So everything's been working so smoothly too. So over here for the actual setup as a whole, this monitor and this monitor go to the gaming PC. This monitor and this monitor you probably kind of can't see over here goes to the streaming PC. I want to do a 3 monitor setup for both computers at 1.8, but that's not really like a huge issue right now. At some point I'm gonna do it, but it's just not a big priority. This keyboard right here is my old Ducky 1-2 Mini, my first ever 60% keyboard. This goes with my gaming PC with this Logitech mouse that I just need to get replaced because it double clicks a lot. And then over here, we've got my Keychron keyboard, which is actually really, really nice. I like this keyboard a lot, with my Glorious Gaming D mouse. Now, I don't know why I don't put the Glorious Gaming one with the actual gaming PC, because that's a nicer mouse in my opinion. It all works so well. I was originally gonna have my 4070 computer be the streaming PC, but then I realized when I'm editing, see, so this monitor right here, this is a Acer Nitro bunch of letters monitor. It's a 1440p 240 hertz monitor. When I was editing on this, I'm obviously editing in 1440p, which just looks a lot nicer as a whole. The picture quality and everything is just better. However, this monitor only has one display port. So that's a problem for me, because I would have to keep switching cables between the two so I can go back to the editing computer, you know, going from a gaming computer to the editing computer back and forth. I just opted to use my old computer, which had been sitting in this room for months doing nothing, as my streaming computer. That way it could just do its own thing, and then my gaming monitor could just be hooked up to these two monitors without ever having to swap things around. And ultimately, I moved my 4070 computer to the setup you saw earlier. So it worked out. It was a little jank at first, I'm not gonna lie, and that explanation probably just sounded really, really convoluted. But the overall goal was to separate the 4070 computer from the 4090 computer so they could still both be on 1440p monitors, because we have my editing computer on this huge LG ultra-wide monitor, and I just wanted to separate the two. That way, it made editing easier. I kept the same picture quality. Editing on an ultra-wide monitor is also way easier than editing on any small monitor out there. Like, I will die on the hill. I love editing on an ultra-wide monitor now. I've had this monitor for months, but I just didn't have the appropriate setup for it. I was gonna rebuild the 1660 Ti computer to be just a full-time editing machine, and then I thought that's just a waste of time. I might as well just use the 4070 computer for full-time editing. So hopefully that explanation made sense. We put the 4070 over here, the 4070 computer over here, because trying to just constantly swap the DPI cables back and forth was just a waste of time between this one and my gaming computer, just because that monitor only has one DPI port. It was a waste of time. I just decided, let's put this one over here. Full-time editing happens over here. I'll just copy my app data from this computer to my 1660 computer. That way it has all my OBS settings and everything, and we'll just figure it out from there. It was just a lot easier. I have a couple of Stream Decks too. I'm using my old Stream Deck Mark 1 over here, which I haven't fully finished setting up for my workspace yet. We're using my old Rocat mouse, which, by the way, my Rocat mechanical keyboard broke recently, which sucked. I love that keyboard. So for the time being, we're using an old, and I mean, I've had this thing for like 8 years, an old Logitech keyboard that I just had sitting kind of around. I've got glorious gaming bungees on both setups for both of my sets of mice. The only thing I haven't really finished doing is transferring a lot of the gaming SSDs from this computer to my 4090 computer. I haven't transferred any of them yet, so I need to look through the 1660 Ti computer too, because apparently I have like 3 SSDs hooked into that one, not counting the 2 NVMe's I have hooked to the motherboard. So I'm gonna have to do a whole lot here. I just kind of built the computer, jumped right into it, and here we are now. Now I'm looking back like, damn, I have a lot I actually need to redo, rearrange, and everything. So this computer is eventually gonna get some upgrades too. I wanna add more fans to the bottom of it now that I know how to really set up all of the Leanne fans. I mean, it shouldn't be anything difficult. I want to do that. I want to daisy chain a few of them in here. I think at some point I want to upgrade the CPU to a 7950, strictly for more editing power, processing power for all the different programs and stuff I use. I think that'd be a good idea. But overall, this setup has turned out to be, I guess in a way, my dream setup. I want to do more in this office, obviously. I want to add more flair to it, more character to it, obviously. I love my collectibles in the back. We got all my Gunpla stuff down here. We got just random things over here. We got this painting my wife wants me to get rid of. I've actually had this since 2017. It's just been floating around. I haven't hooked the microphone up yet to the 4070 computer. I was thinking about just using my old Blue Snowball Ice mic. It's not a terrible microphone for needing just to get into Discord calls and stuff. Like, it's just a microphone, you know? So I'm thinking about getting this one hooked up over here. It's a USB microphone. I just don't like the boom arm. It's just kind of awkward, and I don't really have a good placement for it for this setup right now. I want to get a third monitor for this setup too. It just helps being able to edit. And I will admit, I was skeptical about Windows 11 at first. I like Windows 11 for editing. It makes popping windows and putting things in place so much easier. I've really come to enjoy Windows 11. And by the way, I started using the DJI Mimo app on my phone again. It's actually made doing this whole setup tour a little bit easier. Shout out to DJI. I'm not sponsored by them. I just really enjoy their products. I've had very few issues using relatively anything from them. So, but this is still my favorite feature. All right, we're getting sidetracked. I know I'm getting sidetracked here. But overall, the setup turned out pretty dang good for the most part. There's some adjustments I just need to make to like cable management. Storage devices need to be rearranged across all 3 computers. Figure out what's on all of them. I've got way too much junk. Now we're doing okay. Oh, I didn't show you guys this part too. So this is something I did basically on my own. This is a USB hub. Now it looks like it's a part of the desk. This is a USB hub that I have attached under here with some very high quality like Velcro strips, and it's wired just through under here. It looks like it's a part of the desk, and I think that's my favorite part about it. It's so seamless. So this is the cable I normally use to transfer files from the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 that we are filming this on. I use this cable to transfer all that stuff over. We've got my old DDR4 RAM just kind of chilling right here, which I need to put in a safe spot. And this is actually DDR5 laptop RAM. Yeah, it's only 16 gigs. I ended up getting a single 32 gig stick for my travel computer for when I do all my editing and stuff. I need to get one more 32 gig stick, but okay. I think we're getting a little sidetracked now, and I think I've also just kind of run out of things to talk about. We're just kind of yapping now. My favorite part about all of this is the fact that I finally get to use my Team War headset with a computer, because for some reason, and I'm just gonna tell you now, I've hooked up everything correctly. All the right cables and everything have been put in the right spots on my motherboard. Everything's been hooked up correctly so many times. But for some reason, I could never get any form of aux port on any of my computers to work properly. But I think that's because I use a digital audio manager called Voice Meter, which is like a mixer. Basically, you can control the volumes of a bunch of different things on your computer with it. I think I set something up wrong with that, thus leading it to disabling the aux ports on all of my computers that I use it on. But you know, I still use Voice Meter on this computer. This LG monitor though has an aux port on the back, and I just hook it right into it, and the sound quality is amazing. So I'm happy I get a chance to finally use this headset. I was afraid I was going to have to buy another one, but we finally get to use my org's headset. Shout out Team War. Look at that beautiful logo right there. I think I'm out of things to talk about, man. So the setup's really come together. I'm very happy with it overall. The next change I want to get done in here, the next change I want to make to this beautiful workspace is to replace this table over here, which I will show you actually. Now, the unfortunate side of using this app is I actually can't see the screen, so I need to bring my phone with me. But I want to replace this table with a proper desk and turn it into some kind of like creative area or whatever. Now, we are running out of room in this office. I mean, like, just literally look around here. Like, it's getting a little tight. Now, the wide lens on my camera is probably making this look a little tighter than it actually is, unironically. We're getting a little tight in this space, actually. I used to have an L desk like set up like where I had the desk like across here, and it just kind of boxed me in, and it was very uncomfortable. I want to replace this table with something to turn it into an actual workspace, like a creative workspace or somewhere where I build model kits or whatever, but I would have to redo all the storage and stuff and just make it more comfortable. So I don't know if we'll do that in this particular apartment unit. We'll have to wait and see what the future has in tail for us. But okay, I think that's probably gonna be it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this vlog over here on the gaming channel, finally, we got a vlog over here. Let's go. Leave a like on it. Sub to the channel for gaming content. And as always, this has been Jay. I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a great day. Peace.